The story of my first taste of alcohol is a perfect example for how the rest of my drinking career went. I was 9 years old camping with my brother and our babysitters. And I remember very vividly the warm fuzzies, the ease and comfort, the complete relaxation, the feeling of being the funniest guy alive, the center of attention. I also remember waking up through the night vomiting everywhere in the little pup tent my brother and I were sleeping in. Then the next morning, that shameful and disgraceful walk to the public showers reeking of throw up and liquor. My journey through the alcoholic path started as fun, became fun with consequences, and then just ended in consequences. At 9 years old, liquor took me on a journey from feeling like a king to feeling like a fool. But that experience didn't deter me. High school and the discovery of acting and drama, wherein was my first real peer group in which I started actually socializing and escaping from a very turbulent home life. A father who abandoned himself into a relationship with an emotionally, physically abusive woman. I would stay out late after rehearsals and shows with many of my friends and drink or experiment with drugs. I found a certain degree of relief and escape from this environment. Not to mention, the feelings of power, control, fearlessness, sociality. There are many benefits, more benefits than consequences. So when there were consequences, they were minimized. My developing brain started cementing this way of thinking at an early age, and I put myself at risk many times, resulting in a very traumatic experience, as well as a whole host of legal issues and ineffectual relationships. In the summer of 2002, I was working 2 jobs, and on my break one day, I was on the patio having a coffee and one of my normal routine breakdowns. 2 strangers engaged me in conversation. When I disclosed my issues, they suggested I go home that night and ask the universe for a hug and just keep asking. I did that. And the experience that swept over me was otherworldly. It was a supernatural cleansing that had me in the fetal position for 15 minutes repeating, it's going to be okay, it's going to be okay. And then this started me on the path of real recovery. And Labor Day 2002, I showed up on my dad's doorstep after not talking to him for a few years, and he helped me get into treatment, and then that led to the next 10 years of continuous sobriety. And then, sobriety, it brought me an amazing freaking life, right? I met my future wife, partner of 13 years in a musical, made great money. I owned property, I had nice cars, took trips. I was living the dream, right? And then all those things became my priority. And the foundation I had built to support my sobriety crumbled away. As my marriage deteriorated and my holistic health weakened, I took that first drink. It was a week-long relapse, and then that led me back into another treatment center for 5 months. Soon I was back in the marital home with a recommitment to my sobriety. Life was starting to come back again. But something wasn't right with me still. There was an inner truth that started to boil beneath the surface. And I was realizing that I had gone down a path I didn't want to go down in the first place. I made a mistake and I got married for all the wrong reasons. I'd also in this time lost a younger brother to cancer who was 21 years old. The time came and the opportunity presented itself where, even though I was sober, I made a decision that altered my life. I left my marriage in July of 2016, recognized that I would need to push forward, so I started working out, eating well, enrolled in full-time school, ready to chase my dreams of becoming a professionally working actor. But there was no active spirituality, no active program. And in November of 2016, I took my first drink after 4 years of continuous sobriety. This commenced a tumultuous 2 and a bit years cycle of sobriety and relapse. The last 2 years, it's been a whirlwind for me. Taking that first drink in November of 2016, I can vaguely remember the little voice inside me telling me it was wrong, but there was this overriding elation with feeling like I was free and powerful now, that I could finally have a drink and no one to be accountable to or responsible for except for myself. And there were no immediate consequences, but it started me on a path of self-sabotage and destruction. At one point, I spent $25,000 in a few short months as crack cocaine entered into the equation, and I was in a new relationship with an amazing, loving, and beautiful woman, and I continually lied to her, let her live in fear of what my next intoxicated decision was going to be. The drugs and booze screwed me up so much emotionally and mentally that 2 times I laid my hands on her. A physical intervention forced me to the hospital, a visit to the psych ward, and a renewed determination to change. June 2017 started me off on a 3-month sobriety stint, but a newfound spiritual focus. Nothing specific, just a different connotation. And I ran with the spiritual solution for a while, but a relapse was imminent again, and a second physical incident with my girlfriend. I hit the bottle hard for a month after that incident. Then I went to church one day and started a 6-month sobriety stint in which I found Christianity and became baptized in that faith. I developed a disdain for AA for some unknown reason and embarked on a course of action involving faith alone. This led me to yet another relapse. The drinking episodes recently have been few and far between and have nowhere near the effectiveness they used to have for me. A huge reason for that is all the co-occurring therapeutic activities I've been undertaking, filling my toolbox. Today, I have a sobriety toolbox that is full and varied, but a huge game changer for me has been the development of a relationship with something ethereal, bigger and better than me, that loves me unconditionally. Today, I have an understanding of how God works in my life and how I can be in relationship. I have a reliance on something other than myself and other people to take care of the path ahead of me. I believe today I am worth every bit of good that comes my way, and when the good is masked in events I perceive as bad, I now know that I'm no longer walking through those challenges alone. My fate, my destiny, my future relies solely on 2 things: God and my active relationship with God. I take action today with the faith that if I keep making choices that support my mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual health, then the future can only be an incredible one. Do I have all the material things today I had in my previous stints of sobriety? No, not yet. But one thing I do have today is an inner peace, unparalleled to any other time in my life.
Cast the old ones aside. They're old and used. 20 years of treading on memories infused. Now I'm walking in a brand new pair of shoes. Oh, I'm walking in a brand new pair of shoes.